out of that, what happens after that? Okay. Our boy, NickisNotGreen, was kind of incited to respond because, again, Matt Watson kind of drops the channel there at the end. And, you know, Nick himself said that he would be covering this scenario in depth pretty much. All right, so let's get into it. I'm not going to do too deep of a dive, but long story short, NickisNotGreen. I'll never take you seriously ever again as a commentator. I can't. I literally cannot. And it goes a little bit beyond the SuperMega situation. Let's take a look.
This apology came in a tweet.
So, this is an hour-long video, and I did watch it all. I think I did take notes because I wanted to talk about it on stream, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's even worth really going too in depth because it's like I don't know. It's just getting really incestuous, like all these responses and stuff. You know what I mean? It's getting kind of a pain in the ass to keep it coherent. Let me just see though. Maybe I should, I guess, react. I don't know. Let's listen for a bit, okay? Let's just see how we're feeling. But yeah, long story short though, Nick uploaded his response, and basically he doesn't take full ownership. I'm gonna be straight up. He doesn't take full ownership for the fact that he went into this way too hot, I think. As a commentator, as somebody who blew up this situation, made it a lot more. He raised the stakes drastically, right? Because he brought in 700,000 eyes to this scenario, and to the people who weren't even necessarily Lex. And yeah, he expresses regret for having brought in Morgue Pie and Leighton's stories into the mix, which he obviously has to do because he did fuck up by doing that. Like, it's just blatantly obvious. But yeah, man, he pretty much in the end kind of doubles down on the fact that he was biased. He doubles down in the sense of, he says, dude, she's my friend and I wanted to help her. Of course I'm biased. You know what I mean? Or of course I was biased. Which in my mind, again, I guess that could make you a good friend theoretically, but I'm not convinced that you amplifying the message was in any way helpful to the scenario. Again, the people involved were all planning responses. You did not add much. You just summarized the situation, but summarized it in a way that was entirely biased and ignoring nuance. And yeah, you raised the stakes. Unless Lex specifically asked you and consulted for you to, amplify your message, I don't really see how you could paint yourself as selfless for making these videos. Okay, again, you rushed them out fast as fuck, assumingly so that I guess you could get yours out before Matt and Ryan do a response. I don't know why you would rush this out. I just don't know why. Unless, yeah, you were just trying to get the scoop out before Matt and Ryan respond. Yeah, so as a friend, I don't even see really how this helps. And as a commentator, yeah, no, you're never, I can never trust your word ever again. Never again. I can't emphasize that enough. Never. So let's see what he has to say.
So a few days ago, I made a video about a friend of mine by the name of Lex, putting out a video about her experience with SuperMega and 2 of their employees, including a sexual assault that took place at Matt Watson's house. I would watch that video first, if you haven't, or else this one's not going to really make that much sense. Again, this is going to be a video that's not the normal kind of stuff we talk about, but I did talk about on Saturday how I was going to make a follow-up to this video, and I want to stick to my word. So let's talk about it. Since my last video, a response from SuperMega and one of their employees has come out, and the public perception of this story is much different than it was a couple days ago.
Yep.
Not only that, but my personal coverage of the story has caused Matt and several of his fans to say false things about me. So I want to clear...
It's funny how that works, bro. Wow, that's wild.
some questions and comments that have been thrown my way and try to address them in a way that I personally think is fair. One of the reasons I wanted to make
It's just, again, it's like, okay, we're being fair to you now, Mr. Nick.
this video is that on Matt Watson's response video, he claimed that close friends of Leighton were suddenly using Lex's video to capitalize off of her story.
And Ryan.
And because of this, I want to be clear about why I made this video.
Yo, this guy tore Pay Money Webby to shreds. Gabe, who did? Sorry. Who are we talking about? This might be a good time for you. Join the fucking Discord, okay? You pricks. If you're 150 of you just casually watching this, join my Discord, all right? If you join my Discord, I won't kill you tonight.
I said it in the first video, and I'll say it again. I wanted Lex's story to be told. That's my...
I just think this is cap. I don't like this reason. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. Look, it's possible that Lex asked him to cover it, and if that's the case, I could get it more. But the idea that he took it upon himself to cover this situation, and that it was an entirely selfless reason, again, that's just really, really poor judgment, in my opinion, on his part. Or, yeah, he was low-key self-interested. Again, people don't always consciously accept when they're doing something with self-interested intentions. So I believe that he believes that he is being selfless in this scenario, but yeah, in effect, you failed, I think, and it's not like, this is not a reflection of that. This is not a reflection of you helping the victims get their message heard. You undermined their message by, you know, making such a sensationalized video, to be honest. Like, even with the thumbnail and shit, I look at it and I'm like, this looks like a NickisNotGreen T video. Anyway.
My priority. I was never once told by Leighton to make a video in any of this situation. I've had zero contact with him. I am not a close friend of Leighton's. I've only hung out.
Yes, but Leighton is best friends with Ethan is Online, and you literally work with Ethan is Online. You just dropped an album with Ethan is Online.
With him a couple of times, and it was always in a social setting. And when Lex was preparing her story, I was given permission by her to cover it. It was
okay. That's important. So he was given permission. Okay. So Lex did not ask him to, but he was given permission. I doubt that Lex gave him permission to cover other people's stories alongside hers. But, you know, whatever. Right? Because if Lex agrees to have him cover her story, that's not her consenting to him covering fucking Leighton and Morgue Pie. But anyway, let's see.
It was never something that I suggested to Lex, but when she mentioned it, I decided to share her story because she's a...
Wait, what?
I suggested preparing her story. I was given permission by her to cover it. It was never something that I suggested to Lex, but when she mentioned it, I decided to share her story because she's a friend of mine. I'm not trying to capitalize off of my friend's sexual assault. I never monetize videos like these, and I don't believe that these videos are posed as like great advertisements for my channel. I do not have...
That's, you'd be right. I agree. These are, like, making videos or even talking about this on stream is not even fun. Like, I don't even fucking, this sucks. This situation is such a mess. Anyway.
Have a secret agenda to my videos. I own 100...
But you do, like, your agenda was to tear down SuperMega. It's not, well, you didn't make it secret, though. That's true.
100% of my channel, and I have 0 employees who affect my posts. Covering serious stories is not something I enjoy doing, and when Matt insinuates that I was just told by his ex-merch designer to make this video...
He didn't say that. Yeah, he said Leighton's friends. That's true, but you know what? All right, fair enough. Fair enough, Nick. But yeah, the connection is pretty obvious, my brother.
About SuperMega, I can't help but feel like he's also trying to discredit other stories that I've told in the past. The stress...
Why? What is it about other stories that you've told? I don't understand.
of like talking publicly about the pain that a friend of mine feels, especially when so many people are discounting her story. It's not
People, the public perception from what I had seen, there weren't people really discounting her story. At the very least, there was many more people not, providing support for her at the time. But, fair enough. All right. We'll take him at face value.
a fun thing to do. I'm not like
No, it's definitely not fun.
having a great time over here, spending 2 videos in a week trying to talk about the shit that they did. My intention with this video was only to tell Lex's story, and I will say, I do have some issues with the way I covered the story on Saturday.
You have some issues with this way you covered it. Okay, cool.
I do regret taking focus away from Lex's story to add context that I initially thought was necessary, but in hindsight, I regret including it, and I wish to correct that in today's video. Regardless, I find it pretty disgusting that Matt would spend 45 minutes trying to show how unfair this treatment has been for him, but then he claims without any evidence that I just made my video because his disgruntled ex-employee told me to. Does Matt...
But you fucking dumbass, you realize how this is, in a way, just a taste of your own medicine, right? You realize that, you fucking dumbass? Do you not see the irony there? And to write off that 45-minute video as being entirely about him basically trying to, escape accountability, that's really delusional. It's a situation where I actually am trying to be kind of unbiased toward Nick, but now like a bias is forming in my brain. I can feel it. I don't really like this guy, and so allow that to inform your opinion on what I say about him, because he rubs me the wrong way.
Think that that's all it takes to get me to make a video about something. I know it's easy to just throw shit up when your channel's not doing great and you only really want to post American Truck Simulator Let's Plays, but I have a real job with a real schedule that I keep up for my audience, and I don't make video.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck is that? What is the relevance of him saying that, bro? I should probably stop reacting to this, because, there's no reason for me to, be fucking pissed off. But it's like this guy's acting, I don't understand. Like, the way he is acting is so odd. He's basically saying, I'm not out here making Trucker Simulator Let's Play episode 75. I'm out here, I have a real job. Your fucking job is to react to TikTok drama, you fucking loser. No offense, but, relax, okay? Fucking relax. Your job is not to cover allegations, but you've made it your job. You made that choice, and you fucking did it in a bad way, in my opinion, bro. Fucking odd. You're odd. No offense, man. I'm actually getting pissed off, so I feel like I should stop watching this. I don't know, chat. Should we take a breather, fuck? How dare you talk about a regular YouTube schedule in front of Dear Gawky? Yeah, that's facts. Yeah, I'm offended. I don't know. Am I losing it? Mute? It feels weird that he would frame it as though he has a real job and he has it's like, bro, you decide what you fucking upload, you dunce. You usually upload, no offense, just trashy drama garbage, self-admittedly, he literally admits this. Yet you chose to fucking upload these serious allegations, and you handled it in an unprofessional way because you're a fucking amateur or something, or you're biased or whatever, Anyway, maybe a little breather, lol. I'm about to pop off on this. I'm making you guys mad too. I gotta take a breather, maybe. He says that he has to shit out terrible takes and allegations because he's a professional with a schedule. That is dumb. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's not accountability, I'll say that much. It's fucking weird. It's weird. Anyway.
Goes for personal vendettas. I don't see how in this situation I am possibly capitalizing off of a victim's story.
I mean, it's pretty easy to see how you could be. Like, you got 700,000 fucking views and a ton of retention. I understand he said it wasn't monetized, but it's like it's not out of the fucking realm of, you know what I mean? Like, it's not insane. Again, I don't even think this necessarily helps the victims, but anyway, here we go.
I think Matt does make a lot of interesting points in his apology that we will talk about today. But I think that this claim that he kind of ends his response with is extremely in bad faith, and it makes me question...
Bro, like, this guy's talking about bad faith as if he's owed any after his own video, where he calls SuperMega are horrible people, and then he takes at face value allegations from VODs of streams that he didn't even fucking watch. We're talking about bad fucking faith with this fucking guy? Ah! I'm just kidding. I'm not actually that mad, but like, you know what I'm saying though? It's like, what the fuck, bro? Like, he expects such good faith from people that he literally maliciously slandered. Like, there's no other way to put it, I would say. Right? Maybe maliciously slandered is not the right word, I don't know. But like, he wants to be treated fairly when he, you know what I mean? It's odd, it's odd. It's all odd all around. Say your fucking piece, but like, don't expect too much charitability from the guy that you tried to tear down so aggressively, okay? You fucking weasel. He does own some of the fuck-ups, but his thesis makes me so unconfident in this guy's ability to be a commentator. Again, this isn't me saying he's a horrible person. People moralize shit way too much. But it's like, as a commentator, this is just unrespectable. Like, I don't know. Right? It's like, all I have to judge this guy is what he puts out publicly, and what he puts out publicly, I'm not a fan of. So, you know, whatever.
We need to look at that from the other side too. Just because the guy who was holding those people at his house is suddenly saying that Jim was hired to be the guy that needs to kick out their friends when they stay too long.
Let's be clear. They never kicked out their friends. They got Jim, which I can agree. It's like, you know, kind of not friendly, but they got Jim to talk to Lex and Rav to see when they would move out. Basically, they got Jim to feel out what the situation was instead of asking directly. Obviously, there's subtle indicators that they don't want them to be there, but like, that's kind of with the nature of like seeing what the fuck is up. Nick is being completely dishonest by saying that they kicked them out. That's just not true.
Long. No, I don't like that excuse. I don't feel like that's a very good excuse, but we'll keep going. Matt says that Lex and Rav voluntarily left the office and showed a text from them saying that they were leaving and apologizing for their long stay. Now, again, I don't really think that this is good proof that there isn't any tension, because obviously with Lex showing just how much she was going through at the time, you know, the fact that they might be the only people who can actually take care of them until they can find a place to settle down, of course, they're going to be nice about it. That's a normal trauma response to have to something.
Okay, but bro, like, you understand, like, as adults, like, we have to communicate things, you know what I mean? Like you can't know that shit isn't cool unless it is made a little bit more obvious. You know what I mean? Like, you're putting a little bit too much, like, fucking onus on these guys to be, like, mind readers, you know what I mean? I don't know why the fuck he's focusing on this stuff, but all right.
Largely includes a lot of his personal life and his content, and even if he keeps one thing private, I feel like when a former friend of yours comes forward about sexual assault that happened under your home, behind closed doors, you shouldn't be saying that Matt's going to be debunking everything and that he's going to prove everyone wrong. We're all going to...
Right, this is him talking about how Matt's current girlfriend mentioned on her private, I believe it was Instagram, that she would like to speak up about what is bullshit, but that Matt will be the one doing it. And I don't even know why Nick focuses on this, to be honest. It's like, bro, her shit got slandered pretty hard, you know what I mean? Like, Matt, it was literally accused that Matt cheated on her. So obviously she wants to fucking make it clear that's not the case. All right? Like, do you really blame her for fucking getting emotional, especially when everyone on Lex's side of the fucking aisle, I guess, was like publicly, you know, fucking trashing the SuperMega guys. Like, anyway.
I'm gonna feel like fucking idiots. I think that's pretty necessary context that your own girlfriend is calling all the people who believe in this girl's story like dumb as shit because you're here to like disprove it all. And yeah,
bro, like, this is a severely, drastically uncharitable interpretation. It's just a self-report, bro. For all you know, the girlfriend was just talking about debunking the relationship bullshit, man. The fuck? Especially, yeah, whatever. Like, it's funny too because Nick's talking shit for Matt's girlfriend on her private Instagram, talking about this situation, not even saying anything, but just saying Matt's gonna take care of it. When in Lex's scenario, Lex's boyfriend was publicly saying a ton of shit around like SuperMega, you know, that was saying the M word and making streams where he's like celebrating their downfall. It's fucking weird. It's fucking weird.
yes, a lot of this situation has a lot of nuance.
Yeah, it has nuance, but you didn't present the fucking nuance until now, until you got your ass slapped a little bit. And really, really not that bad. You actually got out of this, like, not scathed, bro. Like, he showed a fucking screenshot of your video as, you know, Leighton's friends or whatever. You got off really not that bad, bro. You're fine.
Conversation.
Okay. Whatever.
There's a lot of times where they do just outright admit that they fucked up. And I do think that their issues with Leighton were handled poorly on all sides, and I think that Leighton should not have spoke up as soon as he did about his experience. I never want to hold someone back from being able to talk about how they were felt in a certain situation, but specifically because it happened so quickly after Lex's video, and especially because the stream was so much longer and there were so many little claims made, I feel like he may have had a lot of emotions and held up resentment from how much he was experiencing while working for Matt and Ryan for a couple years. And I think when Lex was finally able to be heard, he was ready to tell his story, and he may have overstepped in that specific moment in time. I wish SuperMega...
I understand that he's, you know, he's giving the Leighton guy a lot of, you know, benefit of the doubt. The Leighton guy, I feel like being uncharitable to him is pretty fair, though. Like, I don't know. I get what Nick's saying here, though. Like, the Leighton guy, he's getting a lot of heat, okay? So I understand why someone would sympathize with him to a small extent, you know? Anyway.
Story until she...
Because, like, he's not a content creator, too. That's why I'm a little bit harsher on Nick. Because this guy's job is to be a commentator, you know? So, yeah, I guess I get extra bitter when I see people, you know, not taking situations like this seemingly as seriously as they should be, right? I don't know.
She meets Leighton, and then suddenly Leighton gets fired and convinces her to make a 2-hour and 20-minute video.
Okay, Nick, this is just as honest. I mean, it's not, though. Fair enough. But, like, obviously the implication is not fucking that Leighton convinced her to create this video. It's that Leighton's got everyone pissed off behind the scenes. He, like, shared his story, which he obviously gave a severely, extremely uncharitable story. And then that fired people up to, like, reconsider their own interactions with SuperMega and potentially, you know, build this into a big snowball that, you know, resulted in this. Although it's possible that, you know, Lex probably would have talked about this either way. But whatever.
telling her story. It's hard to wrap my head around why people would use Leighton's false judgment and personal grudge against Lex as if she didn't also provide proof for things SuperMega said that were never actually addressed in either of their response videos.
That's
like
true.
One of the bigger texts that Lex showed where she asked Matt about Don claiming that SuperMega fired him without much of...
That's true. That's a good point. Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. The scenario around Don getting fired is murky. It seems like it might have been actually just like they didn't really confront him in a direct way.
Of a reason, only to receive a text from Matt that didn't seem worried. He just said, "Be gone, foul beast," even though one of their ex-employees was lying to people about why he was fired and still talking to fans about it. I think that's insane to me. And it could really only either be Don lying to people about this so he doesn't have to admit what he did, or maybe the talk he had with SuperMega was confusing and vague to him. But we really never got any response about that.
I felt them
That's true.
downplaying it in real time, but I was across the state, like 5 hours away, and could do nothing about it. So that's when I decided I
You know, if you view Nick as a as the crown attorney, like the complete bias, which he is, he still did a shitty job, in my opinion. But you know, I can see how this perspective is useful. It's just like with this guy, you do have to take him with a grain of salt, like heavily.
to be there. Matt had known since, or at least I told him, May 25th that I would be in town on the 14th. On the 13th at 9 p.m., he messages me this. Hey,
Yeah.
can't wait to see you.
Yeah.
Just an update.
Yeah, this is really bad.
Dawn is staying at the office with Rav right now. I did not know what the fuck to say, so all I could say is, what should I do? Oh, whatever you want. I was just updating you where Dawn was. My place is full at the moment, unfortunately. Texting me hours before I gotta be there that he just sent him to the place I'm staying at. He didn't.
And all these stories. But I do want to reflect on my original video and say that I do think I made a bit of a mistake, including
A bit of a mistake.
Work Pie and Leighton stories in that particular video. I wanted my video only to be about Lex's story, and I got caught up in context that I personally thought was important and necessary for the story. But I really should have only touched on Lex's video from the start and what happened with her and Don and Matt and Ryan specifically, since that was my goal in the beginning of the video. You know, despite that, I've still received several comments on the original video claiming that I put out my video about Lex without waiting for SuperMega to respond and that I was taking a side before hearing everybody's sides. And I thought I made this clear before, but of course, I'm going to take the side of a personal friend of mine when she comes out with a story about her own sexual assault. This isn't like...
But this is where we come to the point where it's like, Nick, you are a commentator with 700,000 subscribers. You released a video that was seen by almost 700,000 people. It is different for you to take your friend's side if you don't have like an audience this big and a reputation as you do. You know what I mean? You are not the same as, like, if your friend tells you that they were sexually assaulted, of course I would hope you would fucking believe them. Yes, it makes perfect sense. And obviously everything else, but you, beyond believing your friend and amplifying their message, you tacked on a ton of shit that was from people you didn't know and that you didn't apparently trust, right? And so yeah, I don't think that anybody is shitting on you for supporting your friend, bro. It's the fact that you released a severely, drastically, embarrassingly biased account of events without even looking into the scenarios from two people you don't know. Without even looking at them with a critical eye at all. You just took it as fact and basically contributed to the, I guess you could say, like, canceling of fucking SuperMega. As a commentary channel, this is extremely negligent, and it's indicative of you not valuing the weight of your words with the amount of weight that I would expect from a commentator who takes themselves seriously. So you can accept your bias and you can have your bias and all that, but yeah, I'm just not going to take you seriously because you're admitting your word is compromised and you're fine with that, basically.
Like an online, like, normal thing where I look at all the facts and I make a decision. No, my friend was assaulted.
Like, bro, like, this is the thing, though. You are a content creator, man. Like, if it was my friend, do you understand how rigorous I would be with what I covered? Instead, you chose on the Friday night to fucking as fast as possible recap what happened, and then tack on a bunch of shit that you didn't even research, and then upload it in this Saturday midday. You rushed out a response. This is just negligent, bro. Like, I don't know. I just don't trust you.
On the original video claiming that I don't look forward to making videos like this. And it sucks that someone can talk for 48 minutes about their side of the story and then claim that people like me are trying to capitalize off of a sexual assault victim. So hopefully they both take some reflection and just maybe leave for a second. Okay, I think that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Remember,
look,
watch
man,
the videos.
No offense, but you made yourself look like you were capitalizing on it, okay? I believe him that that wasn't his intention, but it's not crazy to think it looks like that, Nick. I hope you take some self-reflection as well, my friend. But his summary there, I mostly agree with, and it was my original take on the Goknar Clips YouTube channel. But you see how his take at the end was a lot more nuanced, whereas his initial reaction was not at all. This is not the first time that Nick's done this, I found out, because this really like confused me, because I was thinking to myself, I thought that Nick was like a serious guy, basically. Like, I just didn't know him very well, so I looked into him a bit. Do you guys remember Gus Johnson? Gus Johnson got canceled by his ex-girlfriend, effectively, for a number of things. It's too much for me to go fully over, but basically his girlfriend had an ectopic pregnancy, which is very tragic and unfortunate. And his girlfriend, Abelina Sabrina, canceled him, effectively, right? There's, again, a lot of nuance in this scenario, but his girlfriend canceled him. Long story short, Eddie, Gus's, friend and coworker, whatever, collaborator, Eddie left Gus, said, like, I didn't know this was going on. Goodbye to Gus, his best friend. And yeah, basically Sabrina, successfully, I guess, canceled him. Which there's reasons why it seemed like that was her intention, but, that's obviously take with a grain of salt. 6 months later, Gus, I guess, reveals the fact that Sabrina tried to get back with Gus, to re-enter a relationship with Gus, 3 weeks before she tried to cancel him, which is scary information. It's weird. The idea that she was so disgruntled and disgusted and, basically, like, was abused by Gus, which I'm not sure if she specifically states, but it's the implication. And then 3 weeks before she exposes him for this, she tries to get back with him. Yeah, that's telling. It's weird. And so I didn't know this, but NickisNotGreen did the exact same, pretty much, not the exact same, but like similar. He did a similar thing with his friend, Abelina Sabrina, okay? Where he made a video basically blindly defending her, ignoring any nuance. So when Nick was talking about how situations like these are never fun, he was referring to a past time, effectively, where he defended, I guess, Abelina Sabrina, and basically, took her side entirely. So this guy, Jimmy Robbins, I didn't know anything about this. This Jimmy Robbins guy, his video is actually fairly solid about it. And look, I'm not going to claim that full context, so take this with whatever grain of salt that means for you. But basically, it seems like this Nick fellow made this video defending Sabrina, and then at some later point, he privated the video, okay? Because this video is not public on his channel anymore, so... He's made this mistake before, is what I'm saying. He has made this mistake before where he blindly defends one of his friends and he gets a lot of backlash for it. And he, in this case, privated the video. So this wasn't just the first time, a random time. This is the second, at the very least, time that he has publicly, one-sidedly, aggressively defended their friend. And it's resulted in a lot of pushback. So That's contributing to why I think this guy is sus and his word should never be taken seriously as a commentator. Anyway, let's watch this.
Nick's video states opinions as facts constantly. He states the intention of other people as
Where have we seen that before, bro?
facts, uses adjectives to objectively describe one's actions, and uses the fact that he knows the people involved to strengthen his opinion despite providing no perspective other than "I was told these things by Sabrina," and he provides ultimately no new information. He also intentionally leaves details out of his recollection of events, often to contribute to a certain narrative.
Jimmy Robbins. This guy's interesting. I've never seen him before, but he does seem like a actually solid commentator. It's surprising to me that he's not more popular. He actually uploads a lot, but like the fact that this isn't the first time that Nick has pretty blindly taken the side of one of his friends to the detriment of, you know, relaying information. Yeah, I hope this guy really reflects on this situation, bro, because he deserves the heat. He deserves the heat. I hope he gets all of the heat that Lex would be getting, you know what I mean? Like, in the sense of, I hope Lex doesn't get the heat, and it goes on to him, because he deserves it.
It is right. Why do you need to lie about what we've seen for ourselves? Are you kidding me? Hey, here's another lie.
Through all of this, Sabrina has not gained subscribers.
Let's look at the last year of her gaining subscribers on YouTube, shall we? So weird that October was her biggest month of the last 12, and her original video is her second most viewed.
Sorry. Gus's responses were so terrible and seemed so petty and made up that I was on Sabrina's side. Also because she never directly addressed Gus in her first video, because it was more about her experience. Yeah, Gabe, that's facts. Look, this guy, Jimmy Robbins, emphasizes, and I would emphasize too, like, her video on her ectopic pregnancy is a good video. It's a solid video. But her actions outside of the video have been super odd, okay? And again, it's one of those things where it's like, perfect victim. You can't have a perfect victim. But there's a point where it's like, you know, a victim can make some mistakes, and there's a point where it's like a victim actually can make themselves seem a little bit malicious, right? And the idea that you could come back, crawling back to somebody and want to re-enter a relationship with them, and they reject you, and then 3 weeks later you cancel them. Yeah, that's at the very least, that would be enough information for me to be very skeptical. And this is a scenario where Nick, because it's his friend, completely and utterly blindly, completely ride or died for her. All right, and once again, you can say he's a good friend, I guess, but you cannot say he's a good commentator, okay? In my opinion.